Well, howdy, all you collector car fans out there. This is Jason, the owner and founder of Southern Bush Motorsports. We got a cool story for you today. This is the Superbird from Queens. I got a call from a guy that said he had a Superbird that he really needed to sell, and he was restoring it. Wasn't quite done yet, but he assured me that he was going to get this stuff finished up on it. Now, you look at that garage right there. There couldn't be more than 4 feet on either side. And that guy restored the car in that garage in its entirety. I'm talking bodywork, interior, glass, everything. He restored that entire car, including painting it, in that little garage. I do not know how he did it, but let's get to the Superbird. Car was pretty straight. Nose cone looks like it could use a bit of an adjustment right there, but straight down the side of that car, just straight as can be. You know, the paint work on it was meticulous. It definitely was not a concourse car, but it was a very high quality driver car. Definitely a car that I would love to have. And I ended up picking it up off of him. Kind of a rough trip because he wanted cash, and it's kind of hard to travel with that kind of much cash. But, you know, do what you got to do, and he got what he was looking for. And I can tell you right now that that was a numbers matching car from front to back. She was a beauty. The guy did excellent work. Just look at that chrome work and the vinyl top. He did all this work himself. Looks like he might have used a couple original pieces there, a little scratched up, but you know, the car overall was very nicely done. And I don't know how the guy did it in such a small garage. And the craziest thing about it is not only was this garage small, this was a little tiny garage attached to the side of a house. He rented the garage from the person that owned the house right in downtown Queens. Like, it was, I remember standing down on the street, and I'm like, how in the hell am I going to get this car out of here? Like, you're talking like the Bronx, Queens, like, it was crazy. Because you're standing out there, and there's all these people standing around looking at you. You know, he used to go through a back door. He never opened up the door, so nobody knew what was inside there. Spent years building this car, and he just got himself into a situation. He needed to get rid of it. I didn't even have to put the car on my site. I made a couple phone calls, and the car was sold about an hour after. Luckily, the guy that bought it had access to a restoration shop, and he's like, you know, get a discount for me, and I'll finish the car myself. And, you know, it made it easier, so the guy went for it. Really, all the stuff that needed to be done on the car was all cosmetic, so it wasn't that big of a deal. It was a 440 car. I believe it was an automatic on the column, but, you know, it's still a Hemi Orange Superbird, and all numbers matching. All the hard work had already been done. Wouldn't really take too much to put it to a higher quality driver. You just have to do a few things, but like I said, when you look at the garage that this guy was in, I don't know how he did this. Like, it's mind-boggling. And the car looked like it was all original panel car. It didn't look like there was a lot of Bondo use. But look at that. And he got a red pole in the front of it. It was mind-boggling that he did this in that garage. I know the floor is clean. He must have put something down when he painted it. I'm not sure. But touche to the guy, because it was definitely a very well-done car. I think the guy that bought this was a doctor. So basically, when I was at the peak of my career with Southern Bush, I would have key people that basically had some pretty deep pockets, and they knew I was on the road and in the bush and swamps and stuff. And I devoted 20 years of my life, and you know, I sacrificed a lot and lost a lot to do it. But so these key people would basically have certain amounts of money that they had already sent me, and if I came across the car that they wanted, they got first dibs on it. And you know, there was a lot of times that the cars never even got posted, which is why I'm doing this. There's probably 20-25% of the cars that I never had on my site or never stuck on. I think I started Great Vehicles. Well, I didn't start Great Vehicles, but the whole site pretty much was my cars. And Cars Online, they were also part of it too. And I was linked to hundreds of different sites, but you know, this was a good example of, if you really want to get it done. This was one guy that did this. This was not a team of experts that did this. This was one guy. He knew how to restore cars. He had done a few cars before, and he had got a hold of this Superbird. I believe the Superbird was from Queens, and it was the car had never left the town that it was in. If I remember the story right, And he decided that, you know what, heck, I want this Superbird and I'm going to restore it. But, you know, like I said, the guy wanted cash, and it was kind of hard to deal with that kind of money. I can't. You can fly in a plane with it. I had a special permit from the government where I had claimed all this stuff and told them that I would be traveling with a lot of cash and flying inside of the U.S. and stuff. It was hard to leave other countries with that kind of money, but you know, when you're carrying $150,000, $200,000 cash with you, you gotta be able to explain it pretty quick. And I remember when I got to the bank in Queens, the lady was counting out the stacks of money, and she dropped one of the stacks on the ground. I said, "I'm sorry, you got to start recounting all over again." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I don't know what happened between you disappearing and then coming back up. We got to start all over again." And it took a good 30 minutes to get where she was, so I felt bad for that. But he had parts lying all over the place. I took pictures. No, you know what? I look at that air cleaner. It was a 446-pack car. I thought it was just a 440 four-barrel car, but it looks like it was a six-pack Superbird. And these are some pictures that I got from him of the motor and stuff that he had done during the restoration. I'm starting to remember some of the story now. I mean, when the doctor bought this car, it was probably 10 o'clock at night when it was all said and done. He's like, "I want that car here now." And I'm like, "Well, that's not how it works. One, I'm in downtown Queens, and you're in Ohio. And, of course, same thing happens all the time. They offer me stupid enough money, and I'm going to go." And that's exactly what I did, is I loaded the car up onto my trailer and drove through the night. And I got the car to him the next day by, I think it was noon. Gosh, I'm just starting to remember this now. That was a 446-back pistol grip 4-speed. I can see the pistol grip right there, and I can see the pedals. Yeah, see, there wasn't much left that needed to be done on the car. Just the knick-knack stuff. So, yeah, this was a Hemi Orange numbers matching 446-back pistol grip 4-speed Superbird. So, a pretty special car. Pretty special car then. Yeah, did good dash work, nice door panels. You know, he definitely paid attention to what he was doing. The carpet and stuff, that's all brand new. Door trim. A couple overspray marks on the car, but, you know, all in all, it was a pretty good job on the car. That's the difference between Concours, which is basically better than it was when it came from the factory, and everything's perfect, and NOS. NOS stands for New Old Stock. So New Old Stock it's a tough way to go when you're restoring a car. So that's 1969. Dodge knew that people would need new alternators, so when the 69 Charger came out, they would put on alternators extra for the car that they would give dealerships and stuff in case the alternator went bad. And most of the time, they never went bad. So that 1969 alternator is sitting on a shelf for 30 years. So that's new old stock. And when you start restoring a car with new old stock parts, now you're talking like you can get an alternator at AutoZone for $100. New old stock, you're going to pay $700 for that thing. But the car's correct and it's perfect and it's exactly the way it's supposed to be. You know, look at the underside of that car. And a nice solid floorboards, frame rails. That actually looks all original. It doesn't look like it's been replaced. That actually looks original too. Didn't look like that quarter's been, you know, it's a little clean. It might actually have been, but you know, the frame rails are solid on it. Floor's solid. That looks a little too smooth. Maybe that frame rail might have been replaced on it. That looks original, nice and dry. You can tell when they've been replaced. That doesn't look like it's been replaced. Yeah, that definitely looks like a good floorboard, original floorboard. Doesn't look like that's been replaced either. There's that Dana 60. Boy, what a beauty. That packed a whole lot of positive track right there. Both tires spinning when you do a burnout. Really nice clean job. That's part of the hoist there, that red part. But look at that. Nice little setup right there. Everything done right. Cleaned up parts. New control arms, bushings, everything. Yeah. It's tough to do these cars right because there's so much that's involved in doing it. You know, and again, you're talking about this guy had 4 feet on either side of the car to do this car. I really, you know, I haven't restored a ton of cars in my life, but I've been around a lot of people that have done cars, and they got big warehouses and big shops and stuff to restore cars. This guy was in a small single car garage in the middle of Queens, New York. I don't understand how the guy did it, but like I said, all the power to him. He definitely did a good job. Yeah, it looks like you haven't finished putting the exhaust on. Yeah, the underside of that car does look all original. Doesn't look like much has been done to the underside there. New tires, rims. Those are beautiful tires and rims. Nice edging on the wheel wells. Not a lot of Bondo there. There's the wing supports. Those have definitely never been out of that car. You know, all in all, it was a great looking car. It took less than a day to sell it. And, you know, that's the way it is. Well, I appreciate you coming by and checking out another Tales from the Bush. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hang on, because we got some more Tales from the Bush coming to you.